All right, thank you for your patience. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you'll join me for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. The next item on our agenda is to consider and take action to appoint a Board of Education member to represent Zone 5 until the next regular election. Dr. Hartzler.
Thank you, President McAdams. Board members, it is a privilege to be able this evening to introduce and also recommend someone to fill the term for Zone 5. As you recall, that was originally occupied by Mr. Kinnear. So at this time, if I could ask Steve Nguyen to come forward. It does make me feel when I have some of my former students step up to do this, let me say that. But it also brings me great pride. We're going to let you come right on up over here. So President McAdams is going to give you the oath of office.
I think we have
Or actually,
to
we're going to vote first. Thank you. Yep. See, I fast-tracked him as a student, so I'm going to fast-track him as a board member. So let's make sure we're doing this right. So, yes.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second?
All right, Mr. Omerman?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Now, we can give you your oath of office. All right. So repeat after me. I, Steve Nguyen,
I, Steve Nguyen,
hereby declare under oath
I hereby declare under oath
that I will faithfully perform
that I will faithfully perform
the duties of the Board of Education
the duties of the Board of Education
of Independent School District Number 5,
of Independent School District Number 5,
Tulsa County, Oklahoma,
Tulsa County, Oklahoma,
Union Public Schools,
Union Public Schools,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
all of the duties
all of the duties
pertaining to said office, pertaining to said office, and obey the Constitution
and obey the Constitution
and laws of the United States of Oklahoma.
and the laws of Oklahoma.
The laws of the United States and Oklahoma.
And all of the United States of Oklahoma.
There you go.
All right. Awesome. Good job.
And there's your nameplate. Yes, you can.
I asked to do this, so that would be great. So, all right.
All right. And I do want to say we're thrilled to have Steve join us. We were so lucky. We had 6 amazing candidates who put their name forward to be interviewed to sit in this seat, and it was such a blessing to see so many people so invested in our district and so willing to step up and fill this vacancy and just really understand what it meant to serve in this capacity and be a part of Union from this seat. And it was amazing. Any of the 6 people would have been amazing people to sit with, and I just want to express our gratitude for everybody that put their name forward and took the time to meet with us. It was very humbling and honoring to get to meet with all of them. So, all right. Our next item is the roll call of the board. Let the record show that all members are present. And then adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
All right. Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Omerman?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes as well. Our next item is election of board officers.
I like to make a motion to nominate Stacy Romerman for board president.
Is there a second?
Second?
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Omerman?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes as well.
All right. I am looking for a nomination for board vice president.
I would like to nominate Joey Reyes for board vice president.
Second?
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Do we have a nomination for board clerk?
I would like to nominate Dr. McNeil for board clerk.
Yes. Second. Sorry.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. And I would entertain a motion for a nomination for board deputy clerk.
Would like to nominate Heather McAdams for board deputy clerk.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Awesome. All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. All of the following items, those items of a routine nature normally approved at a board meeting, will be approved by one vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. The consent agenda item consists of the discussion, consideration, and actioning of the following items, A through, it was very long, friends, A through triple G, with the exceptions of item L and N, which we will do first on a separate vote. So items L and N only first.
Move for approval on items L and N.
Second that motion.
Okay, Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Abstain.
And the board, or the chair votes yes. All right, we will move on to remaining items from A through triple G.
Move for approval.
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. All right. We're moving on to information reports. First, a USPA report. Do we have a representative here tonight? Do not. Then we will do UCTA report.
Vacation.
Everybody's having a good evening. All right, item C, recognition of boys track team.
All right, thank you, President McAdams, President Romerman and board members. It is always an honor, and it's something that we look forward to be able to recognize, obviously, the excellence that we have throughout our district in so many areas, such as in the classroom and certainly also in our co-curricular activities. Tonight, we are honored to be able to recognize our boys track team because they are now 2 times state champions. And so, Coach Dial, if you will come forward. And Emily, is Emily here? She is not. Mr. Redmond, okay. You want to come forward to say a few words as well? Come on over here, Coach Dial. We're very proud of you and the team, and I'm going to let you do the recognition. I know when you try to corral your teammates after school's over with, they're all over the place, right? But congratulations to you. We're very proud of you, and we know this isn't an easy thing to do. Just a little quick story here. I was in Oklahoma City the day of the happening, and one of my kids had an event, so I couldn't be there. But afterwards, we were going into a restaurant in Yukon to kind of have a little dinner and to celebrate. And I had just gotten the text from Miss Barkley saying, "Hey, congratulations! We have just handed you your last state championship." And I love state championships. You all know that. I'm a little bit competitive anyway. And as I was walking out with my water in hand and some other waters, I came out of the restaurant going, "That's the Union way, baby. We're 2-time state champions." And I happened to look over there, and there's Coach Ritter and the Yukon track team coaching staff looking at me like going, "It's okay, Coach. We understand. You're very proud of it." But congratulations again to you, and well done.
Coach Dow really didn't want to speak. First thing he said when I walked in here was like, "I don't have to say anything, right?" So, yeah, I didn't think I was going to have to say anything either, so I assured him he would not have to say anything. But I just want to make sure that Coach Dow knows that the rest of the athletic department, and I know you guys as well, really appreciate and understand how much hard work goes into corralling that number of kids. If you've ever been to a track meet and you just see how there's just so many kids all over the place, and how Coach and his staff can be on top of all those things, and knowing, one of the most impressive things about him is just knowing what event to put what kid in, and what event to pull a kid from, and when to rest them, and when it's time to press, and those kinds of things. And so to be able to see it all come to fruition at the state track meet, and the intensity that was there, to know that it came down to that last race, and we had options. He's got a lot of horses in the stable, and he had to pick the right ones that were fresh enough to go and compete in that last event. And I think we had to get, first or second to win it, and ended up getting first to win it in style. And so for that to be able to finish that way, and it'd be the second time in a row to get that done, is really impressive. So we're awful proud of him, and we're going to keep celebrating him every chance you guys get. Thank you.
We also have a parent that's here as well from the track team, and Mr. Brown, if you want to come forward here and present.
Thank you, Board of Education, for the recognition of our kids and for our coaches. My wife and I have 2 kids that graduated from Union. We have 2 that are still in. I know all the work that you all put into this. It's not just the coaches and kids, but I also wanted to get you all some back-to-back state championships on behalf of my wife for the Booster Club. So if you don't mind, I'd like to just put these up here and present these to you. I'd like to personally give one to you, Dr. Hartzler. This is the last. I'll let you all pick them out.
Yeah. All right, I'll take it. Thank you.
Your back-to-back state championships. Thank you. I have these shirts for you. Yes, I picked them out. My wife says I should have let her pick it out. I'm sorry. Here's 5 shirts over here, different sizes. So I'll just kind of keep them right up here, so afterwards you can pick out the size that you want.
Thank you.
Thank you, that's very generous. All right, now we have another special recognition, Dr. Federline.
Good evening, President Romerman, Dr. Hartzler, members of the board. Since it's Dr. Hartzler's final regularly scheduled board meeting, we'd like to take this opportunity to honor him. So Dr. Hartzler, if you would join me down here just for a moment.
You're in trouble.
Under Dr. Hartzler's leadership, Union Public Schools has received recognition nationally as a leader in community schools, early childhood education, STEM, virtual education, and college and career readiness. Union's early college, high school, and Career Connect programs have served as models for other high schools throughout the state. The district's mission to graduate 100% of our students college and career ready means that students are still pursued and encouraged to complete course requirements sometimes 2 or 3 years after their graduation dates, some of them tracked down by Dr. Hartzler himself. His accomplishments at Union include, but are not limited to, leading us through 2 incredibly complex and challenging situations with a mascot change and the COVID pandemic, establishing the district's first diversity, equity, and inclusion board policy, creation of the Department of Research, Design, and Assessment in 2018, the creation of the Department of Hope, Guidance, and Social and Emotional Learning based off the work of Dr. Chan Hellman in 2019. In 2017, he was instrumental in partnering with Tulsa Community College and creating the EDGE program, which is currently in their 8th cohort and has allowed dozens of first-generation college students to earn both a high school degree and an associate's degree at no cost. He has overseen the creation of the REACH program, Union High School's Career Connect program, and the creation and construction of El Ochoa Elementary and the on-site community health clinic through partnerships with the City of Tulsa and Community Health Connection. He was instrumental in the passage of multiple bond issues in the Union District, which led to the construction of world-class facilities, including the Fine Arts Building and stadium renovation on the high school campus, because, to quote Dr. Hartzler, our students are worthy. He has served on the boards of Community Action Project, Tulsa Area United Way, Junior Achievement, the Tulsa Regional Workforce Advisory Council, the Boy Scouts Indian Nations Council, Northeastern States University Presidents Advisory Council, the Tulsa World's Community Advisory Board, and the Board for the Oklahoma Center for Community and Justice. His awards include being named the OASA District 5 Superintendent of the Year in 2016 and 2023. He was the 2022 OCCJ Humanitarian of the Year. He was named as a Brock Prize in Education Innovation Juror in 2020. He's a member of the Hall of Fame for Willard Public Schools in Missouri, the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, and the Athletic Hall of Fame for Evangel University. And in 2024, he was named the Oklahoma State Superintendent of the Year by AASA. But more importantly than all that, during his 38-year career working as an educator, he has had a positive impact on countless students and has guided, coached, and counseled generations of young leaders, including me. His legacy of humility, integrity, and service will be forever remembered and forever appreciated. So from all of us at Union Public Schools, from the members of the Union Board of Education, thank you and congratulations on an amazing career.
Well, I too did not know I would be speaking on this topic this evening, and so Dr. Federline and Cabinet Board, who's ever in on this, you are in a little bit of trouble for this. I remember saying to the board in December, as I was giving you all the board report, that this is now, I've entered into the season of last. It's the last this, it's the last that, it's the last event, and yeah, this is the last board meeting, but I'm going to continue to obviously be a Union Red Hawk forever. I will forever have a special place for this district in my heart. You have truly changed my life and my family's life as well, so I thank you for that. But most importantly, I know that this district's going to continue to do great and mighty things under Dr. Federline's leadership and the cabinet and this amazing board. To all the former board members, I see Mr. Coyle here this evening, and to all those who were not able to be here, probably didn't know this was happening, and that's fine, but I thank you for believing in us, not just me, but in this team. I think we have definitely accomplished a lot of great and mighty things, but I firmly believe this, and I said this at my retirement event, that I fully believe and wholeheartedly believe that Union's brightest days are yet to come. And I know that because of our culture and the people that we have. I've been asked to do a lot of interviews over the last year or two about the career and about what we've done, and I'll never forget, I think it might have been Lindsay with the Tulsa World, or the Tulsa World said, you know, what is it about this place that makes it so special? And we have amazing facilities. We're blessed with a tremendous bonding capacity. We're blessed with amazing teachers, amazing support personnel, administrators, a Board of Education, and a community that believes in our mission. But really what makes this place so special, it's the people. It's the people. And so for that, I thank you for creating such a special place, first and foremost for our students, but equally for me and for my family. I have 3 Union lifers, and I've said this, you could have given me $1 million to say, I'll give you $1 million as opposed to your kids going through Union, and I would gratefully say, I'm not interested. Because of the value that they received as students here, I know it's more valuable than any treasure really on this earth. So I thank you for that. I'm going to miss this place, I will tell you. I am. There's just no question about it. People keep saying, are you counting down the days? No, I'm not. But today I had to start. I'm down to 4 days, and I don't like how fast these days are going, but I also know that as in life, every season has to end, and so I leave you in great hands. So thank you for the uncommon blessing of serving you and Union Public Schools. Thank you.
Well, I'm not going to say anything because I would go on too long and get too sad, so thank you, Dr. Federline, for recognizing Dr. Hartzler. All right, hearings and correspondence, any communication? No? All right, we'll move on to the business agenda under instruction. Consider and take action on the renewal agreement with No Red Ink for a 3-year subscription for an online web-based language learning program for secondary sites in the amount of $130,170 from bond funds, and authorize Julia Gardner, curriculum specialist, to execute the agreement. Dr. Nelson.
Yes, President Romerman, Dr. Hartzler, and the board. No Red Ink is a software tool that is used by our language arts teachers, 6th through 12th. There's a grammar component that includes components of a sentence, building and compound and complex sentences, punctuation topics, things like that, which we know are important in writing. Teachers also use the program to practice claims, evidence and reasoning, thesis statements, and embedding evidence. Students submitted last year over 10,000 writing samples using No Red Ink. They mastered over 105,000 topics. 98% of the students 6 through 12 used the program that were signed it. So recommend that we renew this 3-year subscription to continue using No Red Ink to help with our learning.
Any discussion?
Can you remind us how long we've had this subscription active?
Ooh, I think we've been using No Red Ink for about, it was 3 to 4 years maybe.
I knew it had been a while, I just wanted to verify. And we have a new board member, so to establish some of those
Yes,
things.
thank you.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Item number 2, consider and take action to approve the capacity levels and the calculated open transfer capacity amounts as recommended. Dr. Nelson.
Board, on the, again, thank you. The transfer capacity, this particular establishing the transfer capacity for July 1st is going to be unique. We're learning as we go how to best utilize the parameters that were given with regards to transfer. So what we're doing is receiving or accepting every qualified transfer applicant right now that applies to the district during the spring. It's not thousands, it's going to be in the hundreds or so. Many of those students are from families that moved out of the district but want their children to continue at Union. And what we're proposing then is on July 1st, we temporarily close those doors so that we can establish which students are staying at Union, which ones have moved out, which we really don't know until school starts. So we're opening the gates right now for applicants to come in. They have to be approved through the same process that looks at attendance and behavior from records from their previous school. And then we receive those, we manage the capacity, and then after school starts, we'll come back to you, we'll reestablish capacity levels and begin to admit students where we have room in our classes according to the capacity levels that have been approved in the past. So we didn't quite do this last year, but it was tricky to manage, I don't know if you remember that. So this, we've taken an approach that several leaders involved have approved as a process for maximizing our potential to receive transfers and also managing the staffing levels and honoring our commitment to our current patrons and their children as well in terms of staffing and student ratios.
Student,
No, go ahead.
students that transferred in last year, are they automatically included in the count for next year, or is there?
Yes, so all the transfer students from previous years are rolled forward unless there's a reason why their transfer has to be revoked, which is rare.
So this, 6-week window is for us to, of not allowing new transfers in, is in order to establish our class sizes with students that we assume are coming back from the previous year, in addition to students who have asked to transfer through June 30th?
Yes, So we will continue to receive transfers till June 30th. Then we need time to make sure that our staffing levels are appropriate, reestablish capacity. It usually is about the first 5 days of school, things start to level off. We do get a gradual increase after that. We'll have a pretty good idea. So by the beginning of September, we would be able to tell if at certain schools and certain grade levels, we have enough capacity then to admit applicants that applied between July 1st and the beginning of school, basically. We don't get a lot of transfers after school starts anyway, so we're really maximizing our transfer potential by opening the doors for next year during the springtime when we can both prepare and families are more interested in making that move.
Okay, so anybody applying after July 1st would be the same as applying like in October, November?
Yes.
They would go on a waiting list until there's
They'll go through the
capacity?
approval process and they'll be on the waiting list, and as soon as we're aware of our capacity, then they could be informed that they have an opening.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
Move for approval?
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Item number 3, consider and take action on the agreement with Great Minds PBC for the purchase of Eureka Math curriculum materials in the amount of $978,404.62 from bond funds.
Yes, President Rummerman, Board, Dr. Hartzler, this is a purchase as a part of our math adoption process. So this decision was made by a group of about 60 people, primarily teachers, and when it came down to the final decision, according to board policy, our teachers made the decision. And so this product, Eureka Math Squared from Great Minds, is for kindergarten through 3rd grade. It is on the expensive side compared to other products. In this case, the product the teachers chose for classroom use is not on the state adoption list, so they didn't bid like others. And the downside is they usually come in with a higher price. The upside is we also can negotiate, and we're big enough to negotiate. And so the price that you're looking at, though it may be higher than some of the other options that we've considered, we took about a third off overall, about $500,000 in the negotiations to get the product at this price. So we feel pretty good about that. It was really, the decision was made primarily about, of course, student achievement and looking at the kind of materials that will support teachers to use the strategies that they believe, based on research, will be most effective in helping students to learn mathematics, particularly the mathematical principles and reasoning and number sense that is so critical in the early years of math education. And you will see other products coming through for purchase along the way. We have a similar adoption for 4th through 8th grade with Big Ideas, which will be later on, and then with another product from McGraw-Hill for 9 through 12. So we do have a strong sense of alignment and design in the decision that was made by our teacher teams. They did a great job. They worked hard and did a lot of extra analysis on their own time, many of them, in order to help us arrive at a great conclusion with this. So we look forward to this being effectively used in our classroom. So they will get extensive professional development to go with it as well.
Discussion?
Will parents be able to access this application outside of the school?
Yes, I believe so. The students will have a digital login as a part of the use of this product. So,
Awesome. Move for approval?
Second?
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Item number 4, consider and take action on the memorandum of understanding for the Union Public Schools Head Start program with Community Action Project of Tulsa County for the Rosa Parks Early Childhood Education Program. Ms. Pennington.
President Romerman, Dr. Hartzler, and board members, I recommend the Board of Education consider and vote to approve the Head Start agreement with CAP so that we can fund the 102 spots that are building houses at the Rosa Parks Early Childhood Center.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Item number 4, consider and take action on the Family and Children's Services Agreement as well as the FNCS budget amount for Rosa Parks Early Childhood Education Center for OECP classrooms.
President Romerman, Dr. Hartzler, board members, I recommend that you vote to approve the Family and Children's Service Agreement, which will fall into the OECP agreement and budget. But Family and Children's works with us as a partner to meet all of our families where they're at. They provide resources. They meet with every family and do a family success plan. We also have a behavioral health therapist that works with the students through this agreement.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Item number 6, consider and take action on the Family and Children's Services Agreement as well as the FNCS budget amount for Rosa Parks Early Childhood Education Center for Head Start classrooms.
I recommend the Board of Education consider and vote to approve the Family and Children's Agreement that falls under the Head Start contract. So it's the same services just provided for the 102 slots rather than the OECP classrooms.
Move for approval.
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Item number 7, consider and take action on the Oklahoma Early Childhood Program amendment to provider agreement with Community Action Project of Tulsa for the Rosa Parks Early Childhood Education Program and authorize the board president, superintendent, or designee to execute the agreement.
This, recommend the Board of Education consider and vote to approve the OECP amendment with Community Action Project. And what they're doing this year, the state has not released the RFP for the Oklahoma Early Childhood dollars. And so CAP is extending our current agreement for 120 days. And then they have said they're going to keep us abreast of the things happening at the state.
Move for approval.
Okay.
Go ahead. You still ask.
Do any of the budgets we approve help you get an assistant principal?
I know who's been talking to you, Dr. McNeil. I don't think so for this year.
If you could get us more state money, then I don't want to speak for Dr. Federline, but we always like more money, right? He's giving me a thumbs up, but yeah.
I was able to get a nest supervisor, thank you, Dr. Williams, which will be very helpful as we've added that program this year and we're adding another classroom for next year. So,
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank you, Ms. Pennington.
thank you.
Item number 8, consider and take action on the purchase of Nearpod student engagement software in the amount of $106,002 from bond funds and authorize the Executive Director of Instructional Technology to execute the agreement. Mr. Morris.
Yes, this software we've used, well, since right before the pandemic. It's a software that our teachers use at the secondary level to do student engagement. It's like turning PowerPoints into a more interactive lesson. Our teachers love it. It's used a lot in our 6th and 7th and 8th grade and is getting used more and more at our high school level. It just creates lessons that we can use on Canvas and allows our students to interact. Instead of sit and watch a PowerPoint, they interact with the PowerPoint. So it's good use of our one-to-one devices in the classroom along with our learning management system.
Move for approval?
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you.
Item number 9, consider and take action on the expenditure of up to $889,573.43 from general funds to purchase textbooks and software for the 2024-25 year. Ms. Calvin?
Yes, good evening, Mrs. Romerman, Dr. Hartzler, other members of the board, and welcome Mr. Nguyen to the board. This is an annual request I make to purchase our textbooks, and I am asking that you approve $889,573.43 out of our general fund textbook allocation. This does come from the state. And as Dr. Nelson has already said, we are adopting math this year, and so you have just recently approved the partial purchase of math materials. We also have additional needs for secondary and the other part of elementary. This next school year, we are going to adopt social studies for grades pre-K through 12 and personal financial literacy for grades 7 through 12. We also will need to buy materials for Twig Science, reading, and all of our math materials. Any questions?
Is a lot of this a combination of digital textbooks and physical textbooks?
It is.
To go with
It
our
is. That is
devices?
correct. Yes.
And they're not getting any cheaper.
They are not getting cheaper. And with our elementary students, we also have workbooks in the general fund, the state allocation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Item number 10, consider and take action on the expenditure of up to $900,000 from bond funds to purchase textbooks and software for the 2024-2025 year.
Yes, I am requesting up to $900,000 from our newly allocated bond fund 24 to actually cover the whole cost of textbooks that we have for our students. We are fortunate enough to have our bond fund that we can purchase everything that our students needed. If it were just up to the state allocation, we would not be able to purchase all of these wonderful books.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
This is harder than it looks, y'all. All right, item number 1 under personnel. Consider and take action to name the Associate Director of Operations, Mr. Logring.
President Romerman, members of the board, Dr. Hartzler, thank you. It is my honor to recommend Mr. Tony Tempest. Tony, you get to stand up. For the position of Associate Director of Operations. Mr. Tempest is a proud union graduate. He received his bachelor's and master's degree from NSU. He joined union in 1998, left for a few years, got his head together and came back. Served as an assistant principal in the high school and then was named principal in 2013. And it is my honor to recommend Mr. Tempest to a district-wide position as the Associate Director of Operations.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Congratulations.
You're welcome, Josh.
Item number 2, consider and take action to name the Associate Director of Transportation.
Thank you, President Romerman. It is my honor to recommend Ms. Mia Trujillo as the Associate Director of Operations, or as Transportation. She is not able to be here because she is at a transportation conference right now, which is a good thing. But Ms. Trujillo received her master's degree from Lamar University and her bachelor's from New Mexico Highlands. She served as a language arts specialist and joined union in 2012, has worked as an assistant principal since 2019. And it is my honor to recommend Ms. Mia Trujillo as the Associate Director of Transportation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Item number 3, consider and take action to name the Director of Accounting.
It is my honor to recommend Ms. Lindsay Yandell as the new Director of Accounting. She's already stood up. Look at her already taking a cue. We really love that. Ms. Yandell earned her bachelor's degree in finance from the Sullivan University in Louisville. She joined Union in 2013 as a financial clerk, work up to a financial analyst and accounting manager. And it is our honor to recommend Ms. Lindsay Yandell as the new Director of Accounting for Union Public Schools.
Move for approval.
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Congratulations. Item number 4, consider and take action to name the Director of Federal Programs.
Thank you so much. It is my honor to recommend, look at these finance people just right on top of it. Ms. Christine Gonzalez as the new Director of Federal Programs. Ms. Gonzalez has a master's degree and a bachelor's from Northeastern State University. She joined Union in 2018 as the Manager of Federal Programs, but she started at Tahlequah Federal Programs in 2001. And we're very excited to offer and recommend Ms. Christine Gonzalez as the new Director of Federal Programs.
Move for approval?
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Congratulations. Item number 5, consider and take action to name the Director of Purchasing.
Well, we got to think about this one. No. No, it is my honor to recommend Mr. Kurt Frenzel as the new Director of Purchasing here at Union. Kurt has a bachelor's degree from Oklahoma and an MBA from Oklahoma State University. I'm not sure he figured out, which way he was going there. Well, don't give me out openings like that. He joined Union in 2008 in the accounting department and has worked through accounting and is a manager of accounting and has done a great job for us. We are working on his pickleball skills, but that'll take some time. That's okay. But it is our honor to recommend Mr. Kurt Frenzel as the new Director of Purchasing.
Move for approval.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Congratulations. Item number 6, consider and take action on insurance renewals for general liability, auto, and other specified coverages for the policy year beginning July 1st, 2024, from general and building funds, and authorize the Executive Director of Human Resources to sign any associated contracts and initiate payments under the contract.
Thank you, President Romerman. Not quite as exciting as the other ones, but actually, in overall view, this is really exciting news. We do have Sean Shadid with Bank First here as one of our great representatives. They do an amazing job for us on the property and casualty side, and we really appreciate all their help. As well as Miss Christine Mason. We don't get to shout her out enough in front of the public, but she is our HR manager who does amazing work on all of this behind the scenes, keeping us going and everything taken care of and taking care of an employees in a great way. So we really appreciate her. The good news are, while there is a slight increase in our property premiums, the good news is the only increase in the property premiums is actually due to the increase in value of our property. So it's a 5% property increase, but that's because our property value went up 5%, which is, to be honest, absolutely amazing the way the property market has been going. So we were thrilled and shocked. They tempered us all year going, it's looking good, but he didn't want to commit until we actually got the numbers. But Sean and Aaron did a great job and came through for us. There are some other increases, unfortunately, in our transportation. Somehow those buses seem to hit a few things. So the costs are going up with our auto and general overall coverage for our insurance on that. But overall, it's just a 6.17% increase in our total premiums, which is way below what we projected. I know Dr. Williams and I almost fell over when we saw that, so we're very thrilled to recommend these going forward. We do have all of these ready to lock and go forward, so we are all set with the numbers that we have presented. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and Sean is here as well if you would have any additional ones.
Not a question, but I just wanted to reiterate something I said in the business subcommittee meeting, which is it really feels like Bank First goes the extra mile to help us to really do everything they can to keep our premiums down as low as we can. They took people out to all of our properties to say, see, look, this is all the steps and measures that we've been taking, reasons why our rates should stay as low as they do. And I just wanted to take a moment in the meeting to thank you for all that you do for us to help us manage this. So.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Let's sign it
Thank
real
you.
fast. All right, under school operations, item number 1, consider and take action on the purchase of a software subscription from Panorama Education, Inc. in the total amount of $106,670 from federal ESSER funds. Mr. Pennington.
Yeah, President Romerman, Dr. Hartzler, members of the board, first of all, I'm hopeful that you are as nice to me as you were to the other Pennington on the agenda. Secondly, Dr. Hartzler, thank you for having the vision and leadership to start this department and trusting me with it. Thank you for the consideration of renewing our agreement with Panorama and this dashboard. What it does, it integrates lots of information from Infinite Campus, our demographic information, behavior, grades, attendance, test scores, you name it, and then it combines that with our student surveys on growth mindset, emotional regulation, self-management, supportive relationships, and of course, hope. And we can we get great data district-wide and at the school level to make general intervention, but what we're most proud of is that we get with that data, we get individual student information that helps us to build targeted interventions for students, right? So when we can go from macro to micro and really help individual kids, right? In our CSTs, our counselors are able to build small groups around this data. We're able to really impact lives. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for using the word hope and data in the same sentence. That's amazing work.
Move for approval.
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Item number 2, consider and take action on the award of food, juices, dairy, produce, snacks, beverages, chemicals, and paper bids for the 2024-25 school year and associated blanket purchase orders for same. Ms. Powell.
Good evening, President Romerman, Dr. Hartzler, members of the board. Heading into the 2024-25 school year, it's that time to award vendors for our food and all of these items. So I am here tonight to ask that you consider voting for approval for all of these awards. There's a list of vendors and associated POs for all of the food, juice, dairy, produce, and paper items. 2 of these for the produce and the dairy, they're renewals with these companies that we've worked with for many years. So it takes a lot of money to feed our kids, but it's exciting because we've been feeding more kids than we did last year, so that's exciting.
Are we having the same supply chain issues we had last year, or are things better?
It's been significantly better. I was very pleased with our paper bid that came back this year. Actually, a lot of the items have been cheaper than they have. We saw an increase in those items specifically during COVID, and those prices have kind of come back down, which is really excellent considering other items have gone up just in the economy in general. So,
Move for approval?
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank you.
thank you.
Great. Item number 3, consider and take action on the extension of contracted services agreement with American Waste Control, Inc. for waste control and recycling services in the amount of $148,000 from general funds. Mr. Bushyhead.
Yes, asking President Romerman, Board, Dr. Hartzler, to consider our annual renewal with American Waste. The number that we have budgeted is the same as we did last year. I believe there was a little bit of a fuel increase, but they've been real good about working with us when we have schools that aren't in session, that they'll allow us to stop service so that we're not having to pay for it. So they've been very considerate of that for us and have really been a great partner for us. So I'm asking that you approve this expenditure.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Charlie. Item number 4, consider and take action on the bid for the district-wide roofing enhancements project and award the contract to Atwell Roofing in the amount of $240,008 from bond funds. Mr. Robinson.
Yeah, Ms. Romerman, excuse me, Ms. Romerman, Dr. Hartzler, members of the board. This is an enhancement project. These are smaller projects at multiple sites as opposed to full tear-offs. That said, most of the $240,000, about 2/3 of it, is going to be dedicated to reworking the roof underneath the gas line at Cedar Ridge. At Cedar Ridge, there's a big giant 6-inch gas line that serves all of the RTU units. It's really big and it's on some old rockers that are digging into the roof, so we need to raise that gas line up, put expandable rolling rockers on it, and redo the roof underneath those rockers. That's going to be the majority of it. There's also new improved aluminum oxide coating that we're going to do at the 8th grade center, in addition to new gravel stops on the McAuliffe roof, amongst other smaller pieces of it around the district. We ask for your approval.
Any discussion?
Move for approval?
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 5, consider and take action on the purchase of network equipment from Arrow IT Solutions in the estimated total purchase price of $124,095.41. The district will be responsible to pay an estimated amount of $18,614.31 from bond funds after E-rate funding discount is applied. Mr. Borland.
Yes, good evening. This will provide network switches for our core and some of our various buildings across the district, as well as in the core bunker. The current switches are a little bit older. This will allow us to continue what we're doing with 30 gigs between sites, but also future-proofing it, where the switches will be capable of going to 100 gigs. So whenever we have sustained traffic that warrants an upgrade, we'll then be able to switch without having to replace any hardware. So we should be set on these switches for these schools for at least 7 or 8 years.
And could you give us the nutshell version of E-rate for Mr. Nguyen's benefit, please?
Nutshell, okay.
I know. I know, as tiny as possible.
Basically, it's a % discount that we receive because of our free and reduced numbers. So the way that it works, it's a formula. Anything we buy, like switches and access points, that's category 2. So we have 75% free and reduced kids now. So we're in the top bracket, which is an 85% discount. So that's with our internet, it's category 1, that's 90%, but switches is 85%. So that's why we only pay that amount.
And we pay this and we get reimbursed, or our final bill comes in?
No, we switched that years ago. That method's called bear payments, where we pay everything and then we get money back, and that's just way, way too stressful. So we do the SPI method, which means we just pay our portion and then the vendor has to deal with the USAC and get money.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I see it says 10 times the network speed. Is that legit?
I mean, sure.
No, really, is that estimated, or is that?
Well, the speeds will be fast. Our devices aren't capable of doing it. So we can provide more internet than what our laptops can handle. So we're getting to the point where it's not just the speed, it's the capacity. When you go to the high school, you go to the Grand Hall, you have 400 kids in there, and they're all trying to do, multiple megabytes of data. We got to be able to have capacity as well as throughput. So it's not necessarily how fast we can get the data to them, it's how much data we can get to them.
Very cool.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, under finance, item number 1, consider and take action on a contract with RSM US LLP to perform an external financial audit of the 23-24 fiscal year at a fee not to exceed $96,900 for professional fees for audit services, an additional $7,500 per federal program from general funds. Dr. Williams.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, and Mr. Nguyen, congratulations. This is our annual recommendation to engage the services of RSM. We are required under state law to contract with an audit firm that's been approved by the state by June 30th. We've been with RSM since 2004. They perform a full compliance audit as well as doing the single audit. So the district prepares all of the financial statements, the auditors come in and review them, test them, and give us an opinion at the end of the process. So this recommendation is to approve the contract to conduct the 23-24 fiscal audit. It is our hope that since the ESSER program is coming to an end, our single audits will not be quite as lengthy and extensive as they have been the last few years. Last year we had 4 programs audited under the Federal Single Audit Act. This year I hope it is maybe, I don't know, 2, Jessica. But that is our recommendation this evening. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Move for approval?
Second?
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Item number 2, consider and take action on the 24-25 temporary operating budgets for the general building and child nutrition funds.
Thank you. This item is a recommendation for the board to approve what we call our temporary appropriation budget for the new year, the 24-25 fiscal year. Included with this item is the table that we provide you. The 2 highlighted columns, the one on the right side is what's being proposed for 24-25. The yellow column on the left is the 23-24 recommendation. This item pertains to the 24-25 column. Since, of course, we are early in the process and we do not have our state aid numbers, we do not have our ad valorem numbers, these are all estimates, but I can tell you we incorporate a number of things that we do know about or we can expect to happen in next year's budget. You'll notice on the revenue side in the general fund, there's a fairly large decrease in revenue for the general fund, about $5.3 million. That consists of a loss of the DHS stabilization money that we've had this year. The $900,000 that we're receiving this year will come to an end. We expect to see a little dip in the district's interest earnings next year. We have also incorporated $1 million estimated reduction in state aid. Again, that is to take a very conservative approach in what we can expect in terms of state aid next year. We do know that the legislature approved the budget with flat funding, but with an additional $26 million that will go into the formula. If we are lucky, we may see maybe $500,000 of that. However, that really hinges on what happens with our October 1 student counts. And as you all know, we have experienced a decline in our student population. Since COVID, actually, we lost over 800 students, and we have remained at that level for the past few years. So we incorporated that into the budget, and likewise, we also incorporated the reduction in ESSER funding. So you'll see a reduction both on the revenue side and the expenditure side that relates to ESSER. That's been a real bump for us these last 3 years, and so we'll be going back to a budget in the general fund that looks more like our typical budget with a more typical level of federal spending. I think our Federal Programs Department will appreciate that. Likewise, on the expenditure side, a reduction in spending tied primarily to the expiration of the ESSER funds. Over the last 3 years, over $36 million that we've used, I feel very judiciously to help our students, help them get caught up, provide support services, tutoring, interventions, programming, and any number of things that we have provided through the use of those ESSER funds. So for 24-25 in the general fund, the primary change there is the loss of the ESSER funds. Are there any questions before I move on to the building fund? In the building fund, we will continue to benefit from the Redbud funding that the state is providing. This year, the legislature passed the law that we were keeping an eye on that allows school districts to spend those Redbud funds on any allowable building fund expense. That'll come into effect next year. And that'll be a big help for our general fund because we will be able to use that money, about $2.2 million, to pay for property and casualty insurance, things like utilities, things like visual inspection fees. That'll really give us some more flexibility in our general fund. So that'll be a big help to us next year. But you will see an increased level of expenditures there in the building fund. Likewise, in the child nutrition fund, our child nutrition fund is very consistent. We run about $12 million in revenue. We always build our expenditure budget higher than we need to for child nutrition, and that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, we want to make sure we can buy food, but we also want to make sure we can encumber all of our commodity purchases at the end of the year, even though those get closed out and pushed into the next year. So the other project that we have going on in child nutrition is 2 major renovation projects. We're extremely fortunate in the success of our child nutrition program that we've been able to plan for funding for the renovation of the 8th grade cafeteria and kitchen, as well as the renovations at the 6th and 7th grade center that will affect the cafeteria and kitchen areas. Since the district has carried kind of an excessive fund balance in child nutrition for several years, you'll see in 24-25 we'll begin spending that down. And it'll be used for, again, capital improvements in our child nutrition program. So very pleased to be able to report to the board that is our plan for moving into 24-25, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Just want to offer a comment on just you can see the innovation and the special talent that exists within the district just through reading through the numbers. And I remember not too long ago being in that seat being like, who does all this math? Because I didn't sign up for that. And so I just want to thank you and your team for just the amazing job.
It's a team effort.
Absolutely.
It truly is. Thank you.
Move for approval?
Second.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 4, consider and take action on the annual blanket purchase order encumbrances that exceed $100,000 from general and building funds.
Excuse me.
Did I skip 3? I thought I did. All right. Item number 3, consider and take action on the 23-24 general building and child nutrition budget revisions.
Thank you. This is a recommendation to approve what we're proposing as a revision for the current 23-24 budget. And this is a process we go through every year at this time. We look at our projected revenues, we looked at our projected expenditures, what we can expect to see and what we have in the pipeline. I always tell the board this, we're conservative on revenue and we budget a little high on expenditures, so we have enough. Sometimes at the end of the year, we'll receive unexpected funds from the state that we have to spend before June 30th. Not a lot, but every once in a while that does happen. But we also wanted to be really careful in our estimates, particularly with respect to our federal programs. You may have read about the staffing at the State Department of Education with 130 fewer people. We had some concerns about our ability to receive those federal claim reimbursements by June 30th. And so if we don't receive them by June 30th, they fall into the next fiscal year. So we scaled down the budget for both ESSER and Title I claims at the end of the year, hoping that we receive them. There's a good chance that we might, but there's also some uncertainty about the timeline on processing those claims for reimbursement. Likewise, in the 23-24 expenditure side in the general fund, we have adjusted, we'll be bringing a recommendation to the board at the special board meeting for a 5% retention stipend. We, at this time of year, make adjustments to the budget, so we kind of scoop up the unused monies, either through vacancies or unspent budget dollars, to allow us to kind of rearrange the budget, and if the board approves that 5% retention stipend, pay that out of this year's funds. The recommendation in the building fund for 23-24 reflects a decrease in spending because we are pushing those Redbud funds into next year, 24-25, since the restrictions on them were too great for us for this year. We did make a few changes in the child nutrition fund. Again, identified areas that were underspent, and then hopefully be able to set aside those funds for use of a retention stipend. I'd be glad to answer your questions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank you, Dr. Williams. All right, item number 4, consider and take action on the annual blanket purchase order encumbrances that exceed $100,000 from general and building funds, and authorize the encumbrance clerk to adjust all utility and freight expenses as necessary, and adjust any non-blanket purchase orders by up to 15% to cover overages and price variance when paying claims, without prior approval of the board for the 24-25 fiscal year. Mr. Frenzel.
Good evening, President Roberman, Dr. Hartzler, members of the board. It's a little bittersweet here with this, the last agenda for Dr. Hartzler, but I'll try to make this sweet and simple. Tonight, I am asking for approval of our annual blankets over $100,000 for this next fiscal year of 25. I'm also asking for the encumbrance clerk to be able to increase purchase orders and make payment up to 15% for all non-blankets, and increase utilities and our freight, any amount, to make payments and continue our operations here at the district. Any questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? No? Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, do we have anything under new business? No comments from the audience? Any board members wish to share anything this evening?
Did we want to talk about that, color guard? Okay, well, I will say that we also have another state championship to celebrate as well this year, and that is our color guard. I don't think we have brought them in, but Dr. Federline certainly, the July board meeting would be a good time to bring them in, and so we want to take a moment to say congratulations to our color guard, because they were state champions this year.
Didn't the High Steppers win too?
High Steppers?
Didn't they
Did
win
they?
this
Yes, I'm getting a nod from Miss Grass. Yes,
Yep.
so our High Steppers too. So yeah, we will do that.
Got
as
a lot
well.
of state
So-
champions.
So maybe in July, Dr. Federline, you can bring them, the fine arts groups back in and give them their recognition that is due. So, thank you.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil? The chair votes yes. We are adjourned.